learn to do multiple things. Okay, if you work for a startup, your job role might not be defined. You get to experience several job profiles within the same company. I told my team, we were a team of 8 at that point. I told them none of us are going to go anywhere. We will work as a team. We will somehow earn. I would say probably I got attracted to entrepreneurship at a very young age. For anybody who's going to start a career, try and find your career ikigai as quickly as possible.
Hello viewers, welcome back to another exciting interaction at the GIBS IRE Talks Podcast powered by GIBS Business School, a place where innovation meets inspiration. This is Professor Guru Prasad, host for today. Well, having hosted numerous amount of talks in the GIBS podcast, what I've understood from the interaction is that the hiring process still happens to be the most challenging one for many entrepreneurs. When I talked about them, having the right man in the right job is always a challenge. Despite of so much of technological revolution that we have seen, this remains to be a challenge. While there also exists a lot of platforms today, but I somewhere feel the gap still exists. So today I'm all happy and excited to discuss and deliberate on the same topic with Mr. Deepak Subramanian, the founder of Your Tribe. On behalf of all my viewers, let me extend my heartfelt welcome. Welcome to the show, sir. It's such a pleasure to host you.
Thank you, Professor, for having me in the show.
Pleasure is all mine, sir. So before I get into the subject, I would definitely love to know your past. Maybe can you recollect your school days and college days? There's a reason why I ask this question to every entrepreneurs who come to the show, because it's nowhere related at times to the journey that they're having it right now. So I just want to know whether your entrepreneurial journey was an accident or was a choice.
Okay. So I grew up in Chennai, obviously from a middle class background. Mm-hmm. There were no entrepreneurs in my family. Everybody were working. They were all professionally qualified. My dad used to work for India Meters, the company which makes electric meters.
Right.
So he was in that company. He started in that company, retired in that company. So entrepreneurship was a new word for everybody in the family. I would say probably I got attracted to entrepreneurship at a very young age.
Is it?
Me and my brother used to do a lot of these small businesses even at a young age. Mm-hmm. So we used to basically during Diwali time, we used to go buy, procure crackers from a wholesale store and come and sell it in the locality for a market price kind of a stuff. So that was our first encounter with entrepreneurship. I think I started that when I was in 7th grade. I was fortunate enough because my brother was 5 years elder to me. So I used to work along with him. So that kind of gave me a lot of confidence. I used to go door to door to all my friends and then convince their parents to buy crackers from us. So that was my first experience of entrepreneurship. Maybe I always had this entrepreneurial urge in me.
That's great.
Yeah. So
I would definitely say it was a choice, definitely not an accident.
It was definitely not an accident. It was a choice, yeah.
What was your graduation?
So I did my bachelor's in software engineering.
Okay.
From Amrita Institute of Technology.
Okay.
And then again, while I was in college, I was not a topper or of that sorts, but then I was definitely fairly good at programming. Mm-hmm. So I used to code very well. And I thought, okay, I could make a career as a developer, software engineer. But then I realized I was not cut out to be a software engineer because I'm not someone who can actually sit in front of a computer for long.
Very true.
And I also helped some of my batchmates get placed in their final year. Okay. So I used to be the coordinator of sorts for campus interviews. Mm-hmm. So that kind of got me introduced to recruitment. And I started really liking it.
Wow.
Especially when you see success of your friends getting a job and they coming and saying thanks.
Absolutely.
That kind of really got me going. And that's when I realized, okay, recruitment is one career that I should establish myself in.
While you mentioned that, there were none in your family with an entrepreneurial journey, when you decided to get into your own, what was your reaction from the parents? Were they supportive enough, or
They were. So my parents are very cool. They were very supportive. All my dad told me was, "I'll give you 2 years time.
okay?
In case you're not able to do anything worthwhile in this 2 years, you will have to get back to a job."
That's a great suggestion.
Yeah. So I had 2 years, and yeah, no looking back after that.
Fantastic. So it's been closer to 2 decades in your entrepreneurial journey now, right? How did you start?
So I started off in my room. So my PC and my home landline was my first gadgets that
Why
I
this
had.
every entrepreneurial journey begins with a small room and a garage, and
Because
then
you
went
don't have-
on to become a unicorn later on?
You don't have access to anything else.
A lot of great resources there.
Correct. Back then, entrepreneurship as a word itself was very new to
Absolutely.
some of the Indian families.
Absolutely.
So when I started my journey in 2004, people used to say business. It was no longer, it was back then, the term entrepreneurship itself was a very rarely used term.
Business is what they do.
Business is what they used to say. So everybody in the family used to ask, business, so you're starting a business. You're very young to run a business. Yeah, there were people who encouraged, there were also people who discouraged.
Right.
But then, yeah, I used to stay at home. That was a big disadvantage looking back now, because all I used to do was stay inside my room, work. And then my mom usually used to get calls from my aunt or someone on the landline. I used to cut those calls because I wanted the phone for myself. Yeah, that's how my journey started.
Lovely. That's great. I mean, you said you started off in 2004.
Yeah.
Right. Do you recollect 2009? There is a reason why I asked you this question, because the whole globe faced
2000,
a massive financial crisis.
Yeah, we started feeling the pinch in 2008. So I got married in 2008. Just before my marriage, some of my regular clients who are actually hiring quite heavily from us,
Okay.
they kind of sounded a warning. They said the recession is coming. It used to be the subprime crisis in the US.
It is. It was.
Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. That's where the global meltdown started. And then some of my customers started warning me, saying, we are going through a recession, and it's going to take at least another couple of years for us to get out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 2008, mid of 2008, it started. But we were too small to actually face that kind of impact. We had probably 3-4 large customers. Obviously, business from them came down.
Okay.
But I had only a handful of teammates to take care of. So I told my team members that back then, what was also happening is a lot of recruitment agencies were actually scaling down. They were sending people off because obviously recruiting mandates were coming down for them. I told my team, we were a team of 8 at that point. I told them, none of us are going to go anywhere. We will work as a team. We will somehow earn whatever salaries we have, we will earn, and we will get it.
So what
paid.
was your team size back then?
Eight of us were there, including me. There were 9 people.
Okay.
I remember between 2009 February till 2009 September, we worked all 7 days. There was no break for the team. I don't think anybody in this era would actually work like that.
Absolutely.
And they were all getting paid 10,000, 15,000. That was the salary back then. And some of them are still in touch with me. They're all doing really well for themselves in life. We never took a break. I used to take them to Besanagar Beach, which is in Chennai, in the evenings, just to encourage them, just to keep them motivated.
Absolutely.
And that itself was a big thing for them. I used to take them out for a lunch, but all 7 days working, Monday to Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, we used to run drives for entry-level talent. Luckily for us, 2 of our large customers were hiring entry-level talent. And until then, we had never hired for entry-level roles. We were only focused on 2+ years of experience. Because this was the only opportunity available, we used to run weekend drives. And that actually kept us going for 7-8 months. And end of 2009, I think things kind of started getting better. And things got back.
What's your team size currently?
Currently, we have 32 people.
That's great. I mean, you're accessing all the pan-India services today.
Yes.
Right. That's a great journey. Second hiccups that you saw was in 2020.
Correct.
There are two hiccups here. One was, of course, the global pandemic that broke out. And the next one, I would really want your detailed answer to this. The kind of revolution AI and the other technological platform has created.
Correct.
It is a solution for a lot of the ongoing problems. So how do you feel, did that affect in any manner, especially in the recruiting part?
See, a lot of tools evolve. I would like to tell you about our experience of how we actually understood the COVID pandemic and then what actually happened.
Okay.
2020 February, then people actually in India started talking about COVID as a pandemic. Right. WHO announced COVID as a pandemic in the first week of March, I guess.
Right.
We thought, okay, this is going to be a short-term phenomena. 2 weeks, everything will open up. 17th of March is when we actually shut down the office.
Okay.
So for some of my employees who were actually using a desktop in the office, I gave them a laptop. I told them, we actually hired a laptop. We did not even buy. I told them 2 weeks, we'll all come back to office. That was the understanding I had back then. I couldn't actually foresee COVID would become such a big phenomenon.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks passed, a month passed. Luckily, we had a fairly decent business pipeline until August. So clients were hiring and we had a decent pipeline. But August onwards, everything started actually, people became very cautious. People were not willing to actually quit jobs and move to a new job.
Okay.
Because they were afraid.
Right.
They didn't know how everything is going to pan out. Second thing is, employers also were not hiring. Everything was remote.
No new hiring at all. Yeah.
So September to March, those 2 quarters was like real struggle. I think we hardly made any placements, only about 10-15 of them in the entire 2 quarters. But then things started picking up. 2021, COVID actually, the first wave got over sometime in October. And then slowly things started opening up. People started understanding, okay, this is how remote work is going to happen. People started getting used to the tools, the remote tools. Zoom, everybody were starting to get accustomed to being on video calls. And then 2021, the VC world went mad. Okay, so anybody with a PowerPoint presentation, Excel sheet were getting funded. And that kind of opened up a world of opportunities for us. Until then, the plan of building a product for your tribe was still, I was not very clear whether I should do it. During the COVID, I kind of put that on the back burner. But 2021 March, when everything opened up, I suddenly saw many of my customers raising the next round of funding. People who had raised seed money in 2019, they all raised Series A. And suddenly we got more mandates, more customers.
That's good.
And that's when I thought, okay, the market is opening up now. It is the right time to build a product for your tribe.
Right.
And that's when we started building your tribe as well.
Okay. Well, second question in the same thing I asked you on the technological revolution. Has it brought any major changes, challenges?
It certainly has. There are a lot of tools that have come today. But when it comes to hiring, you can do screening, you can do interviews, you can do everything online today. You can do the matching, AI will do the matching. But still, it's very difficult to remove the human component from the hiring chain because people trust people. Okay, especially when it comes to career. Career is a career choice you cannot trust a machine to make your career choice. So even we have implemented a lot of AI. Okay, we have built a lot of AI for matching. We have built AI for candidate sourcing. But we are not able to completely eliminate the human aspect in the hiring stages. That's right. Yeah.
I made a statement in my opening remarks. Hiring is still a challenge today for all the firms, whether it is a mid-size or a big size or a startup, so whatever. A right man in the right job is always a challenge, according to me.
Yeah.
What's your take on this? When you've been a part of this industry since last 20 years now?
Hiring will continue to be a challenge. though our population is huge, even if you across the spectrum, you talk to a small shop owner, he or she will have a problem with hiring. They will want people.
What is that gap then we are not able to fill it up then?
I think the gap is across spectrum. There are different gaps. At the bottom layer, I spoke about a shopkeeper.
Right.
Their skilling is an issue. Okay, so they're not able to get semi-trained kind of people. When you look at corporates, they want employable graduates. Okay, though our academia is doing their best to bring employable talent, there is still a skill gap. Okay, with the kind of population that we have in our country, it's it's definitely going to take some more time to bridge that employability gap. And with the generative AI coming up, I think generative AI can bridge that gap, is what I feel. If all our graduates start using generative AI effectively, that employability gap will actually reduce quite a bit.
Yes, one point I agree to you. Academic institute like us also, of course, we are an exception, I would say. You should advance yourself from a degree-based education to a skill-based education.
Correct.
It's a high necessity today. Nothing happens between the four walls of the classroom, as I always say. The real exposure lies beyond giving them exposures and hands-on trainings and all that. Where do you see this trend going in the coming years? Okay, before that, in your interactions with these startups and all that, have they referred to you any kind of challenges they faced and in their hiring processes, which they have told you?
Certainly. See, a startup, when they're scaling, if they have to bring down their people cost, they have to at some point bring in interns and entry-level graduates into the scheme of things. And when they do that, startups don't have established systems like a corporate.
Okay.
A corporate will have a training department. A corporate will have entry-level programs. When they onboard 100 freshers, these freshers will go through a training program. It's a device training program which they already have. But a startup is very chaotic. When they have to hire freshers and they know that's the only way they can scale without spending too much money, if they bring in 30 freshers, it becomes very chaotic for them.
I have sorry to pause you here.
Yeah.
These startups, are they keen on mass hiring? Are they looking into quality hiring or cost-based hiring?
Okay. I might not be able to give you one straight answer. It depends on the journey that the startup is going through. Okay. Obviously, a startup will not do mass hiring. For them, if a startup, 100 people startup has to onboard 20 freshers, that itself is mass hiring for them,
Right.
for their size.
One.
So,
Number two was quality-based or cost-based?
it will obviously be quality-based. In a startup, they expect quality because they're willing to pay more salary than what a corporate would pay for the same job.
But doesn't quality come with the additional cost?
Yeah, they are willing to pay that.
They're willing to pay.
So if a fresher is getting paid 4 lakhs in Infosys, a startup, a Series A stage startup, if they have to hire a fresher, they are willing to pay even. There are startups which pay even 12 lakhs for the same person. So obviously they want to go after the quality. Yeah,
they're very clear because they're in their initial stages of their journey.
Correct.
They have to have the right people
Correct.
there. Right. Now, I was just mentioning about you being in the recruitment for about last 20 years, right? And you are done recruitment for yourself as well. You have grown from a small size to a larger size. So, I mean, this journey has also given you understandings and lessons on what kind of hirings you should make. At the same time, the problems that you face, you're also able to probably discuss with your clients.
Yes. See, there are certain.
Are you like only assisting them in hiring, or will you also give them suggestions and strategize?
Whenever I get an opportunity to interact with my clients, we generally discuss about what challenges other companies are facing, what challenges other players in the industry are facing, which are some of the roles where challenges are going to come up.
True.
So those aspects are definitely discussed whenever we get an opportunity to talk to any customer. That wisdom is always shared.
Correct.
Because we don't want anybody to make a hiring mistake, because hiring
Absolutely.
mistake is very costly.
Right. It's very costly. And in this case, whether it's you who are accountable for that?
Yes, we are partly accountable for that.
Uh-huh.
The idea of your tribe is to give every employer culturally aligned talent.
Okay. Do you do any interviews before then?
Yes, we do a lot of screening.
Okay.
We ensure the candidate is culturally aligned even before we submit the resume to the company.
Okay. Your association happens more with the startups.
Yes.
Have you taken a step to associate with the educational institutes as well?
Yes. It's not been really formal. The engagements that we currently have are not very formal, but we have a few contacts.
But will that make sense to have a formal association?
Yes, we are going to do that in the academic year 25-26. Because we are opening up a lot of entry-level roles on the platform as well.
Okay.
And we are also introducing a learning module for entry-level talent on our platform.
Yeah, this is the next question that I was supposed to ask you, because you are the right person at this point of time to address the students and tell them what exactly these startups and these companies are looking for.
Correct. So startups typically look for people who have the right attitude.
Right.
Okay. Skills comes second.
Absolutely. Agree with it.
Okay. So if somebody is able to showcase that attitude, startups will be willing to pick them up. So more than skills, it's the attitude.
So my request to you is the same thing. I mean, you should start going to a lot of colleges and addressing students on this.
Yes.
Because you clearly know the requirements of the clients of the corporates, and your message to the students would be really genuine, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of gap that exists even today. Despite of so much of revolution that we have seen in education sector, there is a gap that exists between academia and corporate.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you can be one of the aggregator in this too.
I would love to. So I'm open to addressing students. I love it actually.
Great. Yeah. I mean, this is also the platform where the interaction of us will be shared to thousands and lakhs of the students.
I hope many people get the advantage of seeing this, and they're able to enhance their skills.
So 20 years of entrepreneurial journey. What's in the bucket list next for Deepak or for your tribe? Anything special coming up?
So we are actually evolving into a full-fledged...
what I understand is entrepreneurs never say we are done.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yes. So I would say my wish is to work until I'm 80. I really pray to God that He gives me the strength to work until I'm 80.
Lovely. That's a real sign of a visionary leader or entrepreneur.
Because I don't believe in retirement. So yeah, with respect to your tribe, we are actually now becoming a full-fledged startup marketplace. Hiring will continue to be the cornerstone for us, but we are also going to bring in other service offerings for founders to make use of. Because if you talk to any startup founder, hiring is not their only challenge. Hiring is one of their biggest challenges. But early stage founders generally find it difficult to go and find partners across legal, accounting, finance, fundraising.
Right.
So we are now making your tribe a marketplace where startup founders can find service providers in multiple categories. So we are now onboarding service providers. We have identified about 12 categories, and you will soon see your tribe evolving into a full-fledged startup marketplace.
Right. Usually I end asking this question. Entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial journey is all about ups and downs, right? You need to be master enough in both success management as well as failure management. You have seen both of it. What is Deepak's mantra in managing success and managing failure?
I think I generally don't take both success and failure too seriously. Okay, I have actually gone through the lowest of lows, and I think God has blessed me to come out of that gracefully as well.
True.
So I think, I don't take things too personally. I think that has helped me. So if somebody says something to me, I don't, even if it's a compliment, I don't take it to my head. And if they scold me also, it's a transaction that has gone wrong. Okay, it's not about two people
True.
fighting.
Very true.
In the business context, a transaction has gone wrong, so the other person is showing their frustration.
It's always a lesson.
Correct. So how are you able to take that, and how can you ensure it does not happen again?
Right.
That is the essence of failures.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the right mindset to have when you said I have to work till you're 80.
Correct.
So you can only go till there if you have this mindset.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Sir, this is a platform which is watched by a lot of budding entrepreneurs, I would say, and we are in a country which has given that ecosystem a lot of lakhs and lakhs of startups coming every day, every month. What is that message you would love to give it to the viewers who are watching to you and who wants to become the next Deepak in their journey?
Okay. So I would like to address two sets of people here. One is people who want to be entrepreneurs. Two, people who want to work for startups. Because not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
So for people who want to be an entrepreneur, you should give yourself realistic time frame. Okay, you should not put your family down. You should not let your family struggle because of your aspiration. Give yourself a realistic time frame. Work on an idea for 2 years. If you're not able to see success, go back to a job. There is no shame in going back to a job and then polishing your skills and coming back into entrepreneurship, because you have 40 years of career to try out entrepreneurship. And don't believe in others telling you, okay, you cannot become an entrepreneur at 40, you cannot become an entrepreneur at 50. Entrepreneurship can be pursued at any age if you have the right frame of mind. And for people who want to work for startups, learn to do multiple things. Okay, if you work for a startup, your job role might not be defined. You get to experience several job profiles within the same company. So make use of that. Try and understand how a business works. Try and contribute as much as you can across multiple areas so that your knowledge will widen. And even if you want to become an entrepreneur at a later stage, that experience can be carried forward. And in general, for anybody who's going to start a career, try and find your career ikigai as quickly as possible so that you get to spend as much time in a particular career. Because I've seen people trying out different things in their early parts of their career, and then they realize, okay, sales is what I want to do, and by then they'll already be 30. So try and find your ikigai as quickly as possible so that you have a head start. You can spend 40 years of your career in that particular industry or role. I think that is really crucial for career success.
Wow. Incredible, sir. This is what I always mention in my podcast. There's a lot of difference in theory and practice. Entrepreneurship cannot be taught through a textbook. It cannot be taught through inside the four walls of the classroom. A journey like this is where it gives you a lot of lessons. So this podcast that we are running, itself is like a course. We have so much of podcasts that we have launched in this, and that itself can be a great textbook for them, wherein they understand the real journey. And today's interaction was definitely one of the best, where we spoke about the start, the success management, the failure management, and the vision. I really like the vision. I mean, he made a point that because I interacted with many young entrepreneurs who said, I want to retire by 35, I want to retire by 40 and lead my happy life. Here's somebody who said, I want to continue till 80. I mean, that's the true sign and ingredient of an entrepreneur, I would say. So I think I'm sure all my viewers had a great takeaways from this short interaction. On behalf of all my viewers, let me extend my heartfelt thanks to Deepak. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you, sir.
I look forward to
being on the show.
Pleasure's all as again. As I said, I look forward to many more interactions with you in the coming days as well.
Yeah.
Students, if you have not yet followed us, please follow us in all our social media platforms, GIBS IRE Talks and GIBS Business School. And my personal request, please do follow Deepak in LinkedIn. That itself will give you, again, loads of knowledge and insights. For now, this is Professor Guru Prasad signing off. Thank you for watching.